support our coverage with a free account on Privacy, the service that keeps you protected when shopping online. Get $5 to try it now by using promo code QZZ2J.
Hello, Internet. I'm Scott with PLUGHITZ Live, part of the Tech Podcast Network. I am here at CES 2024 at the CES Unveiled event, and I have a stuffed dog next to me. We'll find out about that in just a moment. But first, go ahead and introduce yourself for me.
Hey, I'm Louis. I work at Invoxia, and we just unveiled the Minitailz.
Okay, and tell me about that.
Well, the Minitailz, the easiest way of describing it is that it's a smartwatch, but for dogs. It has three main features. Basically, it can GPS track your dog so that you don't lose your dog. That's basically the first important point. Then you have activity tracking so that you can tell at each minute of the day what your dog is doing. Wow. It has 12 different activities, so like walking, trotting, running, eating, drinking, etc. And then there's health tracking. It can tell your resting heart rate, the resting respiratory rate, and then there's a few new features. It can diagnose AFib, which is atrial fibrillation. That's only on the new generation. Wow. Yeah, it's a very prominent problem. It's a type of arrhythmia that's quite prominent in dogs. It's like 10% of dogs, and it gets even higher with aging dogs. And you can detect it because the problem is your dog can't talk to you. So usually you detect it too late, but it's highly treatable. So with this, you can tell that it has it. You just go to your vet, you get the report from the application, and you just show it to your vet and can treat the disease.
Wow. I've had dogs my whole life, and I had no idea the percentage was that high.
Yeah, it's very high. Wow. At like 12 years old, not every dog gets to 12 years old, but it gets up to like 25% of them that has the disease. It's kind of crazy.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah.
What else have we got new in this generation?
Well, it's much smaller. As you can see, this dog is pretty small, and it fits in pretty well, so that you can fit it on smaller dogs, but it's also more comfortable with bigger dogs. There's that. There's the fibrillation diagnosis. There's also geofencing. You can predefine a little zone, and when your dog gets out of it, you get a notification in case your dog is running away, you know. And then there's also using LLM models. You can get little reports every day that takes all this information, the GPS tracking, the activity tracking, and the health tracking, puts it all in a pretty convenient report. Sometimes it'll just tell you like same old, the dog is doing just fine, but sometimes it will tell you like, maybe the cardiac rhythm is going a little high, is it getting a little hotter, your dog's breathing a little higher, yeah.
Okay. That's really cool. So it's using AI to determine abnormalities and variations.
Exactly.
Is it based on just your dog or also like the average dog
Good
as well?
Question. We have different baselines. It gives you, compared to the baseline of your dog a few months ago, a few weeks ago, a few days ago, but also compared to all our other dogs and other dogs that are in the same groups. So that same groups of breeds, because of course a Labrador is closer to a Golden Retriever than to a Chihuahua, you know? And so it uses different baselines to know if something is out of the normal.
Sure. Okay. That's pretty cool. So if there's geofencing, that must mean that there's active GPS?
Yes, there is live tracking. So by default, it's not live tracking because it would use too much battery. The battery, by the way, lasts for 2 weeks, so that's pretty convenient. Wow. But if you have, for example, this notification that it got out of the zone, you can activate live tracking so that you can follow your dog around and it's active tracking.
And then when it's not active, is it doing like geofencing processing on the device and then sending reports on a regular basis?
The device can trigger the notification, but usually it doesn't send the information if there's not something interesting like, oh, it got out of the zone.
So it's like holding data for whatever in the batch processing?
In a cache, yeah.
Very cool. So that must mean there's a subscription. So how much does the device cost and subscription?
So the device just came out today, and it's $99 to buy the collar when you buy it. And then there's a subscription of $850 every month.
Okay. Very cool. And is it available to purchase today?
It is available, yeah. It just came out today on the website, invoxia.com. You can get all the information and buy the collar.
Fantastic. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today.
You're welcome.
For continuing CES 2024 coverage, stay tuned to PLUGHITZlive.com/CES. The Tech Podcast Network CES 2024 coverage is executive produced by Michelle Mendez. Technical directors are Kurt Corliss and Adam Barker. Associate producers are Nancy Ertz, Clinton Millsap, Sergio Velasquez, and Terry Willingham. Voiceover by Aaron Hurst. Our hosts are Marlo Anderson, Don Bain, Todd Cochran, Scott Ertz, and Christopher Jordan. Studio and equipment are provided by PLUGHITZ Productions. This has been a Tech Podcast Network broadcast, copyright 2024.